Welcome back, everybody, to Lessons in Filmmaking. Today I want to talk about something that I have gathered a little bit of experience in now, which is working with actors. So honestly, I'm kind of constantly in awe of actors. I think just their ability to breathe life to characters and really make them believable and interesting is an incredible talent and something I will always envy just a little bit. So I've worked with a bunch of different actors in my career at this point, ranging everywhere from members of the Screen Actors Guild to friends or just people who have never acted a day in their life. So between all of that, I think I've learned a thing or two. Now, this is just a side note. Just because an actor is a member of the Screen Actors Guild or not a member of the Screen Actors Guild, that's not an indicator of their overall talent, in my opinion. There are great actors everywhere, right in your backyard. I mean, look in community theaters, look everywhere. There's talent to be found. So with that, here are 3 lessons I have learned in working with actors. Okay, lesson number 1 is that no actor acts the same. So actors all have different styles of performance. They all are going to show up to your set and to your project a little bit differently in what they bring to the table. You know, acting is a craft much like that of filmmaking, and it is something to be honed. You know, in the same way that we as filmmakers hone our crafts and really figure out the best ways and the best processes for ourselves, actors do the same thing. So it's your job as the filmmaker or as the director to figure out how does each actor that you're working with hone their performance? What do they need, you know, when they're showing up to your set to play one of your characters? Some great ways to do this is just honestly to spend time with your actors before you even reach production. This could be as simple as jumping on a couple of phone calls or a couple of meetings and just getting to know them as people. Generally, I'm pretty good at kind of getting an instant read on people, so I like to meet with actors to figure out who are you as a person so I can understand, like, how might you perform. Some actors really like to sit down for a few minutes before each scene and have a very in-depth conversation about the intention of the scene and, you know, what is the character thinking and feeling going into the scene, which is how I like to work. But some actors kind of just want the baseline, tell me what's going on, and they'll figure it out themselves. So it's kind of up to you to figure out things like that. And maybe even do a table read if it makes sense, depending on your project. With a table read, you're gonna get an instant idea of how an actor works and what they're gonna bring to the table. So then you can go back and make some notes about how might you want to help craft their performance. Okay, lesson number 2 is that line readings are performance killers. So what is a line reading? A line reading is when you, as the director looking at the script, or maybe you wrote it as well, you might have a very specific way that you want a line to ideally be delivered. So if you were to go up to your actor and, you know, you maybe weren't happy with their performance, so you say, hey, let's do it again, but this time say, John, how dare you, but say it like that. That's a line reading. And this is, in my personal opinion, like one of the worst possible ways to direct. It's one of the worst things that you can say to an actor. It's a great way to put a performer up in their head, because then they might be thinking, oh my God, like what was so wrong about my performance that they're just telling me how to do it. I'm glad to be able to say that I've actually never done this. I had a lot of great teachers in the past who very instantly put it on my radar to not do this, so I learned pretty early on. But I've seen it done time and time and time again. So really try to avoid giving line readings. There's some great ways to get around this, some great ways to find fixes. Like, for instance, maybe focus on the circumstances of the scene that might drive the actor or the character to deliver the line in whatever emotional way you are after. Or find some way to help them relate to the feeling behind the line, rather than just telling them, say it like this. And sometimes you'll get it exactly like you intended in your head. And other times you won't, but I can tell you that you'll probably be pleasantly surprised by the new choices now presented to you. Okay, and lesson number 3, which has sort of come up in these past 2 lessons as well, is be open to change. So if you're directing a project, and especially if you've written it, there's a specific way it's going to be playing in your head. And it's easy to get attached to that way and want it to be that way. But the most important thing and the most freeing thing is to be able to let go and to be able to give your characters away to these talented performers that you have entrusted to help bring your vision to life. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with wanting it a specific way. You should, especially if you wrote it. These are your characters. You came up with these people, so it's up to you to build them out the way that you want. But working with an actor comes with a certain level of trust. So you have to be open to change, to new interpretations, to the ways that an actor has read your words and seen it a little bit differently than you. You know, actors often have a lot of great ideas and they want to put them to use. A lot of their job is in service to a project. So if you give them room to have some creative play, I think you'll be very happy with what happens. And you can still step in and sculpt a performance with small changes, but more often than not, I think it's ultimately better to step back and see it with a fresh eye. If anyone wants more valuable information on working with actors, I read this great book a long time ago. It's called Directing Actors, Creating Memorable Performances for Film and Television. It's by Judith Weston. Okay guys, that's all I got for you today. So thanks for watching. I always appreciate when people find themselves on my little corner of the internet here. If you like what you saw, please feel free and subscribe. I'm always uploading new videos, sharing films and lessons, and generally just sort of creative life. And what have your experiences been working with actors? What's worked for you and what hasn't worked for you? Let's talk about it in the comments. I'm gonna give a quick little announcement. I talked about it a little bit in my last video. I'm making a web series right now. This is called 2020s. It's a series of vignettes about young adulthood, and it's getting closer to reaching production this summer. So I'm working with a lot of different actors and fully cast, and I'm gonna be sharing updates directly on here because this channel is the first place where this web series is gonna go outside of some, private local screenings and such. So stay tuned and I will keep you updated on the web series. Okay, everybody, that's all I got for you. Peace and love. I will see you in the next one.